Ninth grade vocabulary words, teacher's list. Week 1. Archaic, ancient, argot. Informal expressions of a particular group. Connotation. The suggested meaning of a word. Denotation. A specific meaning of a word. Idiom. A non-literal expression. Jargon. Specialized words of a profession or trade. Pidgin. Simple speech from combined languages. Semantics. The study of word meanings. Standard. Conforming to established usage. Vernacular. Everyday language. Demeanor. The way a person behaves, overall impression made by comportment, manner, etc., facial appearance, mien. Efficacy. Efficiency, the power to produce the desired result. Garrulous. Given to much talking, tediously chatty. Irrevocable. Incapable of being taken back, the Bill of Rights is an irrevocable part of American law. Tumultuous. Riotous, violently agitated, marked by disturbance or uproar, noisy, chaotic. Week 2. Atlas. A book of maps. Epicure. A person with fine taste in food. Galvanize. To spur to action. Jovial. Cheerful. Nemesis. An opponent or a force that can't be conquered. Pyrrhic victory. A very costly success. Quixotic. Seeking an unrealistic goal. Saturnine. Gloomy. Sisyphean. Requiring endless, useless effort. Solecism. Improper language. Askance. Adverb, with suspicion, distrust, or disapproval. Disdain. To look upon with scorn, to refuse scornfully, a feeling of contempt. Dissuade. To persuade someone not to do something, worried that he would catch a cold, she tried to dissuade him from going out on winter nights. Idiom. An expression peculiar to a particular language that means something different from the literal meaning of the words. Break a leg. Obsequious. Excessively submissive or overly attentive for self-interested reasons. Sagacity. Shrewdness, soundness of perspective, with remarkable sagacity, The wise old man predicted and thwarted his children's plan to ship him off to a nursing home. Hyperbole. A figure of speech using deliberate exaggeration or overstatement. The literal Greek meaning is overshoot. Hyperboles often have a comic effect, however, a serious effect is also possible. Often, hyperbole produces irony. The opposite of hyperbole is understatement. Week 3. Beneficence. The doing of good, charity. Cursory. Going rapidly over something without noticing details, hasty, superficial. Ignominious. Discreditable, humiliating. Labyrinth. A maze of paths. Tremulous. Trembling nervousness or weakness. Idiom living high on the hog. Living the good, rich life. Week 4. Exemplary. Worthy of imitation, commendable. Prudent. Wise in practical affairs. Resolute. Firmly resolved or determined. Sardonic. Bitter or scornful derision, cynical. Vehement. Strongly emotion, intense, passionate. Idiom Pyrrhic victory. A victory at too high a cost. Week 5. Alacrity. Cheerful readiness or willingness. Fortuitous. Lucky, fortunate. Imminent. Likely to occur at any moment. Profuse. Abundant, in great amount. Voracious. Exceedingly eager or avid. Allusion sword of Damocles. Something bad will happen at any moment. Week 6. Inexorable. Unyielding, unalterable. Intimate. To indicate or make known indirectly. Plaintive. Sorrowful, mournful. Taciturn. Inclined to silence, reluctant to join in the conversation. Vestige. A mark, trace, or visible evidence of something that is no longer present or in existence. Idiom get in on the ground floor. To join a venture in the beginning stages. Week 7. Chimerical. Unreal, imaginary, visionary. Didactic. Intended for instruction. Dubious. Doubtful. Eloquence. The practice or art of using language with fluency. Plethora. Overabundance, excess. Idiom: throw down the gauntlet. To challenge someone to a fight or argument. Week 8. Catharsis. The purging of emotions or relieving of emotional tension. Expedite. To speed up the process. Indiscriminate. Haphazard, thoughtless. Permeate. To pass into or through every part. Superfluous. Being more than is sufficient or required, excessive. Idiom: off the cuff. Spontaneous, extemporaneous. Week 9. Adamant. Unyielding in attitude or opinion. Harbinger. Anything that foreshadows a future event. Intrepid. Resolutely fearless. Prognosticate. To forecast or predict something in the future. Vicissitude. A change or variation occurring in the course of something. Idiom: crocodile tears. Showing fake emotion. Week 10. Bellicose. Inclined or eager to fight, hostile. Obstreperous. Noisy, clamorous, boisterous. Pugnacious. Inclined to quarrel or fight. Querulous. Full of complaints, whiny. Venerable. Commanding respect because of great age or impressive dignity. Idiom: a walk in the park. Something that is very easy to do. Week 11. Affinity. A natural liking for, or attraction to someone or something. Circumspectly. Adverb, watchfully, cautiously, prudently. Monolithic. Consisting of one piece, solid, unbroken. Predilection. A tendency to think favorably of something, partiality. Serendipity. Good fortune, luck. Idiom, to take down a peg. To put someone in his or her place, to humble them. Week 12. Diuretic. Something that increases the volume of urine excreted. Effervescent. Vivacious, lively, bubbly. Myopic. Unwilling or unable to act prudently, short-sighted. Nocturnal. Of or pertaining to the night. Traverse. To pass or move over, along, or through. Idiom, upper crust. The upper classes of society. Week 13. Aspect. Part, feature, phase. Avid. Enthusiastic, dedicated. Detrimental. Causing detriment, damaging, harmful. Periphery. The external boundary of any surface area. Truncate. To shorten by cutting off a part. Idiom, a piece of cake. Something that is easy to do. Week 14. Acuity. Sharpness, acuteness, keenness. Crestfallen. Dejected, dispirited, discouraged. Diffuse. To make less dangerous, less intense, or less embarrassing. Remediation. The correction of something bad or defective. Ruse. A trick, strategy, artifice. Idiom, to wear your heart on your sleeve. Openly showing your emotions. Week 15. Cajole. To persuade by flattery or promises. Erudite. Having great knowledge, learned, scholarly. Invective. An insulting or abusive word or expression. Miscreant. A vicious or depraved person, villain. Pragmatic. Of or pertaining to a practical point of view. Idiom, fight fire with fire. To use the same weapons against your opponent that were used on you. Week 16. Appreciable. Noticeable. Breadth. Wide range. Copious. Abundant. Gargantuan. Gigantic. Innumerable. Too many to count. Inordinate. Exceeding reasonable limits. Negligible. Insignificant. Paucity. Scarcity. Pittance. Inadequate. Proliferate. To spread quickly. Week 17. Bestow. To give or confer. Caveat. A warning or caution. Gauche. Lacking social polish, tactless. Ineffable. Incapable of being expressed. Rampart. Fortification. Week 18. Adroitly. Cleverly, skillfully, resourcefully. Bristle. To become rigid with anger or irritation. Inane. Lacking sense or significance, silly. Mundane. Common, ordinary, unimaginative. Repudiate. To reject with disapproval or condemnation. Idiom, seeing red. To be very mad. Originated from the notion that bulls are made angry by the color red. Week 19. Heretic. A professed believer who maintains religious opinions contrary to those accepted by his or her church or rejects doctrines prescribed by that church. Indomitable. Unconquerable, unable to be overcome. Precocious. Unusually advanced or mature in development. Reproach. Blame conveyed in disapproval. Spry. active, nimble, energetic. Idiom, the fat's in the fire. A course of action with inevitable bad consequences has begun. Think of dropping fat into a fire, causing a burst of flames. Week 20. Credulity. Willingness to believe or trust too readily, gullibility. Forthright. Frank, direct, outspoken. Keen. Strong, distinct, perceptive, sharp. Resilient. Springing back, rebounding. Umbrage. Offense, annoyance, displeasure. Idiom, like a deer in the headlights. To be so frightened or surprised that you cannot move or think, refers to the look an animal has just before being hit by a vehicle. Week 21. Discomfit. To frustrate the plan of, thwart, foil. Gesticulate. To use gestures, especially in an animated and excited manner. Innocuous. Harmless. Perspicuous. Clearly expressed or presented, lucid. Sordid. Vile, dirty, or filthy, morally speaking. Idiom, a dime a dozen. Anything that is very cheap and abundant in quantity, something easily acquired. Week 22. Duplicity. Speaking or acting in two different ways with the intent to deceive. Incongruous. Out of place or inconsistent. Jostle. To bump, push, shove, brush against, or elbow roughly or rudely. Pernicious. Causing harm or ruin, hurtful. Wrest. To take away by force, to get by effort. Idiom, the elephant in the room. An obvious truth that is being ignored or unaddressed. A problem or issue that no one wants to discuss. An elephant in a room would be impossible not to see. Week 23. Composite. Put together from parts. Depose. To overthrow. Exposition. A systematic explanation. Imposition. An unfair burden. Imposter. A person with a false identity. Juxtaposition. Placement side by side. Opposition. Disagreement. Proponent. An advocate. Proposition. A proposal. Repository. A storage place. Week 24. Detract. To reduce something's value. Distraction. A disturbance to one's focus or attention. Distraught. Very upset. Entreaty. A strong plea. Extract. To pull out. Intractable. Difficult to control. Protracted. Prolonged, drawn out, made longer. Retract. To withdraw a statement. Tract. A piece of land. Traction. Grip or hold. Week 25. Cognition. The process of knowing. Cognizant. Informed, aware. Connoisseur. A knowledgeable person. Conscientious. Careful, thorough. Diagnosis. An identification of a disease. Incognito. Disguised. Notoriety. Fame for something bad, infamy. Omniscient. All-knowing. Prognosis. A prediction. Unconscionable. Immoral or excessive. Week 26. Affectation. Artificial behavior. Beneficiary. A person who is helped. De facto. In reality, actual. ASI. Effectiveness. Faction. A group or side in a conflict. Factoid. An unimportant fact. Factotum. An employee with many duties. Manufacture. To make, produce. Officiate. To referee. Prolific. Productive, fruitful. Week 27. Cosmopolitan. Sophisticated, worldly. Geopolitics. Study or geography, politics, economics, and population. Impolitic. Imprudent, unwise. Interurban. Between cities. Megalopolis. Region of connected cities. Metropolitan. Related to a city. Politico. A politician. Polity. A form of government. Urbane. refined, polite. Urbanite. A city dweller. Week 28. Arrogant. Thinking one's self to be superior. Diffident. Shy, timid. Egocentric. Selfish, self-centered. Esteem. Respect. Flaunt. To show off. Gloat. To express self-satisfaction in a mean way. Humility. Humbleness. Modest. Not vain, humble. Pompous. Pretentious. Swagger. To strut. Week 29. Capillary. A tiny blood vessel. Convalescence. A gradual return to health after illness. Innervate. To make weak. Epidemiology. The study of diseases in populations. Epidermis. The outer skin. Infirmity. A physical disability. Malady. A disease. Pallor. Paleness. Susceptible. Easily infected. Virulent. Harmful or poisonous. Week 30. Ambiguous. Having several possible meanings. Baffle. To confuse. Cogitate. To ponder. Convoluted. Twisted. Enigma. A mystery. Insoluble. Not solvable. Intricate. Having a complicated or complex structure. Labyrinth. A maze. Quandary. A state of uncertainty. Tactic. A strategy.